Hey gang, it's Bryan from FXBilliards. Today, we're going to talk about bank shots. Now I know how much some of you love bank shots. I have a theory as to why some of you like bank shots. But my question is, are you a good bank shot shooter? An average, intermediate bank shot shooter? Where do you really stand in the world of bank shooting? Can you make these 3 balls on the fly while you're talking on a YouTube video? Probably not. If you're the average banker, that's outside of your skill set. We are going to separate bank shot shooters into 2 categories. Really good bankers, okay, really good, and everybody else in the world. Because good, let's just say above average bank shot shooters are doing things that the rest of you aren't doing. And I want to talk about just one aspect of what they're doing that you're not doing. Let's talk about real quick 5 of the things that a really skilled bank shot shooter is doing that you're probably not doing if you're, say, an APA 4, 5, or possibly 6. Number 1, a good bank shot shooter is playing position from their bank. He doesn't care about making the bank if he's not going to have another shot afterwards. I did a whole video about position play and bank shot shooting because it is very important. The second thing that he's doing is he is thinking about speed. On each and every one of those shots, I adjusted for the speed and the distance to get back down here. Another thing that he's taking into consideration that you might not be taking into consideration is English. We're going to get back to English in a second. The next thing he's taking into consideration are the odds of making the bank shot. The bank shot from here to go back into this corner is actually almost twice as easy as the bank shot from here. So those are 4 things so far. And the last thing that you find in a good bank shot shooter, that top 20%, let's call them, is that they don't use any gadgets. They're not doing this and crossing and trying to find the middle, and you didn't see any of that in any of my bank shots, and you're not going to see it in this video. Not only does it look ridiculous, but it doesn't do you any good because there's other variables at play that you haven't calculated for. On the base level, I'm talking APA 3, it teaches you, it gives you an idea, a baseline of where your banks are going to be. Graduate past that real quick as possible, and learn to instinctively shoot bank shots. But today, one aspect of banks that we're going to talk about is the effect of English on the bank and how you can use English to make shots that would normally be impossible. Let's take a look at a couple of shots that would be all but impossible without the use of English. I'm not playing it there. I'm playing it here. We're going to put high right on this and bring that 2 ball back here to this pocket. Now, what happens there? There are 2 things that happen. First off, the spot that we need to hit in order to bring this ball back to us is almost on the opposite side of the ball from our vantage point. That's not good. But what we're doing is, by applying right-hand English, we actually transfer, and this is a concept that I know some of you will never comprehend, but it's real. You transfer just a little bit of left to this ball as it comes off the rail. They're like gears. The right-hand English on this has this ball spinning this way, which causes this one to spin this way and move towards the pocket. And the more friction there is available, so dirty balls, old set of balls, anything that makes it more friction, the more you can throw this ball. But with brand new spanking clean balls like this, it's not quite as much. It's not quite as much transfer of English, but that's how we get that ball to come backwards. It happens to be a lot easier than trying to find the cut angle on the opposite side of the ball. So when you see shots like this and you see pros shoot shots like this, there is a 99.9% chance they shot it with English. That other 0.01 or whatever it is that they didn't use it, they missed the shot anyway, so it didn't matter. They couldn't even come close to the pocket. We're playing the 2-ball, but we have to play it here for whatever reason. Other pockets aren't available, it doesn't matter. The shot actually comes up. I've played this in matches. Sometimes I've made it, sometimes I haven't, because it's not a layup. But if we want this 2-ball to go up here and go backwards, all right, which way does it need to be spinning? It needs to be spinning clockwise. So it needs to have left-hand spin on it, which means we're going to put right-hand spin on our cue ball, which will transfer just enough left. It's going to be so subtle you won't even see it. Just enough left on it so that when it hits that rail, it is coming backwards and ends up in this pocket. The shot looks like this. Just like that. Every one-pocket player who has ever won a game knows that shot. And 100 others that are like it. So let's look at a couple other situations where you're going to be using English to help you make a ball, usually by transferring some English, also by throwing the ball in situations where you can't hit the spot that you want to hit. That shot on the 2-ball can only be made one way. You have to transfer English to get it to come back here. Shots like this, you've actually got a lot of options. This is where the advanced player versus the other 80% come in. What are my options? I can play angle in, angle out, with medium speed, play it in the side pocket. That works. I can, like many bank pool players, especially from, I'd say, places like Kentucky, they like to put some juice on this, so they're actually aiming over here and reducing the angle, write that down, reducing the angle with speed. So it looks something like that, except theirs go in the pocket. So let's shoot it again. This is very tough, guys, because I'm actually not aiming for the pocket. I'm going wide, but taking speed on there, putting speed on there, that reduces the angle, because if you remember I mentioned earlier, the slower we hit it, the wider it's going to go. The other way you can make this shot, though, is, and bear with me, I know I'm not putting that ball back in the same spot over and over again, but you guys are pretty bright, you understand the concept. The way I normally make this shot is I'm going to hit it with below average speed. I'm going to hit it almost in the face. I'm not trying to find that angle in, angle out. And depending on the position I need to get, I might change things up a little bit. But I'm putting left-hand English on the cue ball, transferring just a touch of right to that 3-ball, and then it ends up here. So this shot looks like this. Not bad. 3 ways to make a simple bank shot. I need to hit this ball in a way that allows my cue ball to get out of the way before the 2 comes off of that rail and collides with it. In the meantime, I need to cut off the angle so my 2 ball, look where it's going, doesn't end up over here, but ends up here. How do I do all of that? If I put left on this, it's going to transfer just enough right onto that one where I end up in the pocket. Now, it's not automatic, but none of these shots are. Remember, these are the shots that the top 20% of bankers are using. So if you're part of the 80%, of course it's difficult. But as you get better and better at them and identify them more and more, you don't have to think about all of this. You know, if I put left on this, that shot goes in that corner pocket with the correct speed. You're not going to be 100% on any of these. I'm going to shoot it until I make it for you guys, but I expect to make it on the first try because it's not that big a deal. Remember that the more narrow the bank angle, the easier it is to make. So I don't have that great an angle. If I move it back here, it becomes more difficult. But here, I can just pop it with some left English right there where it is and end up in the pocket. So basically, I hit it full with the left-hand English to end up in that pocket. No, it's not a layup. It is what I like to call a knack. But that's what puts you in the top 20% of players, is that you instinctively have these things. Because I hate to break the news to the gamma set, but that's not nice. But you can't measure that, okay? That happens because you instinctively shoot it. So this shot might look a little familiar. It is the big sister of the shot we took earlier. The 6-ball this time is past the pocket. And we're going to have to make it come backwards. Some of you are thinking, I'm going to play the 6-ball there. You're what I like to call a racker. I'm sorry, I'm not all that nice sometimes. But the reason you're going to be racking if you play it there is because even if you make it, we got to get on the 8-ball. Did you see this ball down here? That's right. So while I'm shooting the cross bank in that side pocket, the cue ball's coming around and someone's spirit is going, oh Lord, I'm about to be broke. And as I pull up here for the 8-ball. So not only does the English help me make the shot, but it sends me around the table to help me get shape on other balls. This is a very makeable shot here, guys. I'm going to shoot it as many times as I need to make it for you guys. I'll leave the camera running because if it takes me more than 2 times to do it, that's a unique situation. I'm going to hit it practically right in the face, high, left-hand English, because that's going to transfer right to that ball, right-hand English to that ball, which is going to give it just enough reverse to come back here to the pocket. And the shot looks like this. Guess what's happening over here? First shot. First try, guys. Anyway, that's a spirit breaker. What you have now is the ammunition to increase your odds of making those shots. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit us in the comments, and I appreciate you guys that are subscribing and watching all of our videos and keeping the channel alive. Talk to you soon.
Oh, are we on the air?